Hello, hi beautiful people. Hello, Stelian.
Hi, Andrea. Hi, everyone. So nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. And I'm so happy because we were planning this conversation since more weeks, I think.
That's correct. And last week I lost my voice. Let's say it like that.
Yes, I was really angry with Harris because you had class.
Yes, I translated 4 days in a row, and for some reason I lost my voice, but it's back again. So here I am.
Yeah, and maybe it's better to have this conversation now because maybe it will be totally different. So, yeah.
I'm quite sure about that. Last week I
Yeah.
had an idea about what would I speak, but I guess that this week we will just follow the energy.
Yeah, as usually. And how this conversation came up to me, it was that almost every week we phone each other a bit and we have amazing talks. And I'm always amazed that, "Ah, why do other people not hear this?" And maybe it can be contribution to others too. So, and some I don't remember where I was, but the topic inspiration came up to me, and actually, you are also an inspiration to me.
Wow, thank
And
you so much. You're you're an inspiration for me too.
good, thank you. And I was just wondering because I think I was in nature, and I realized that sometimes I become so much inspired by just sometimes flowers or some birds. Just perceive some energies, and I was wow. Inspiration can be interesting because many things or many people or sometimes nature also can inspire us. So I'm curious, what is inspiration for you? Or I know it's hard to define, but how do you usually inspire yourself, or can you see when you inspire others? Because I think also many times we are inspiration and we don't see.
That's correct, and unfortunately, I don't realize when I inspire other people's. But it's interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned the nature, and it was one of the things that I wanted to say that inspiration might be something that you can show, and you don't have any judgment regarding to the thing that you are showing or doing or saying or being, and
Hmm.
people can see that, and those who are choosing that can choose it or not. It's their choice, it's their life. So everyone does it in a different way. And maybe another thing that I was thinking that maybe we could talk about, that it's if you reach to this topic from the from the space of invitation, what
Hmm.
difference can you make in the world, and if you are aware that you are an invitation or an inspiration for other people, then maybe you can be more conscious about what are you inviting people for. You can invite them for more joy, for more happiness, for more laughter, for more love, or whatever is your thing. And being that, actually not doing that, being that could inspire the people who sees you. And so many times even more people sees you than you even imagine or think of. Uh, prior to this call, we just had a conversation. Andrea is having now a class, and there are a few participants there. We live in different countries. I'm living in Romania, Andrea is living in Hungary, and there are people who already know me, let's say it like that. I didn't imagine that. So it was a wonderful surprise, and I salute everyone who knows me or who is interested in what I am saying or doing or being.
Yeah, they are preparing for afternoon because we are having expense class and it's
Cool.
intense, but they are still alive, so good
you
news.
just you just give their limitations, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting what you are talking about because I think many times we don't acknowledge that we are invitation or inspiration because it's from our being, and it's for us it's natural. And also for me, many times when somebody acknowledges this or they say that, oh, Andrea, you are so joyful or easy or la la la, and I say, what? And for me, it's natural, but it's not about doing. And sometimes we think that we have to do things, and just then can we be contribution or change the world, or we think that it's about big things, but it's usually from our being. And what I really love in you is your kindness and your humor, and also your awareness. And many times you also ask questions that, oh, Stelian, you? Yeah, and many times also, for example, 2 weeks ago, or I don't know, I was in Tui in Slovenia, and there was a lady. We were walking just in the streets and la 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 after the presentation, and she was just sitting outside on a couch at a cafe, and she was drinking coffee and reading a book. But she was so much, I don't know, she was so much an invitation, an amazing invitation. Just the energy and just looking at her, it was for me, wow, would like to have it from this, you know. So many times you don't have to do anything special because it's just your being is an invitation.
Yes, basically what you're saying is that she was enjoying herself, she was enjoying her time, she was enjoying that moment, she was very present in her life in that moment. And usually we inspire people when we enjoy what we do. If
Yeah,
when we enjoy ourselves, when we are just the way we are,
we
just the
are.
way
Yeah,
you said the nature. Now I'm going back to the nature. The nature is the way it is. A flower is beautiful, but it's not beautiful because it want to show that it is beautiful. It's just beautiful because
flowing,
that's, yes,
no?
that's the way it
Yeah,
is. And it
yeah.
depends on the person who admires that flower, or who observes the nature, if he can enjoy it just as much or not.
Yeah, and nature for me is always inspiring because it's so easy, so much flowing, and also when I'm at the ocean, or also just when sometimes I see a mountain, the power and the presence is what for me it's amazing. And with people, sometimes I went into the somehow wrong direction. I realized I don't know what happens to you, but many times when I felt that somebody is inspiring me, I thought that I have to be the same or I have to do the same things in the same way, but I realized it just doesn't work. Because I'm not that guy or I'm not that lady. I'm Andrea, but I can ask for that energy, but or I can ask how would it work for me. But when you try to be somebody else, it never works.
Yes, many times we do this. We see somebody who inspires us and we want to do exactly the same thing. We enter in the how, and we rather should look at what inspires us and make a difference between this is what I like. This is how you set the energy that
Mhm.
he is functioning or she is functioning from, and to see that energy and to see how can we apply it in our lives. How can we make it to be suitable for us, for the way we are, for the way we behave, for the way we just simply be, because you each and every one of us, we are unique. And you cannot take a tailored piece of clothing on
Yeah.
someone's body, and to expect that it will going to fit in the exact same way on your body as well. You have to tailor it on your body to see how it works for you, and to see what is working for you. And how can you become an inspiration from your own being, because you see, usually we are looking for the things that we want to fix, we want to change, in order to focus on the things that we do like in our lives, we do like in ourselves, for example. Not look We should set our minds in a different way, not always looking in something for to fix, instead of that, more looking for things that we want to grow. And when you
Ah, I get you now. Okay, because first it was not clear for me. Yeah, 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 that's true. Yesterday we also had a conversation in the evening, and my friend said that, Andrea, we should focus on what we would like to create in our life and what we can choose or what possibilities we have, and not fix things, as you are saying. Yeah.
Yes, and so many times we are actually fixing our points of view, nothing else. Because for for us it might seem the end of the world, and for the rest of the people, like, okay, it happens, life happens, and if you fix your mind on the things that you want to grow, you want to cherish, you want to see more in your life, then you will start to create that thing. You channelize your energy in that direction, and you don't maintain a life something that you see as a mistake, or you see it as something that you shouldn't say, or you shouldn't do, or you should
Or a failure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
any shouldn'ts.
Hmm.
Because even even those shouldn'ts might be a huge contribution for the rest of the people. It might be a huge vulnerability for you to show them that, okay, my life is not perfect, but it's going in the direction I do like it, and I'm on the right
You are
trip.
telling it to a perfectionist. Oh my God, I'm not perfect. My life
Yes.
is not perfect.
Yes, you see, and
Yeah,
now I would ask you, how many times did you stop yourself because you're a perfectionist? How many times you
yeah,
didn't started to do something because you wanted to do it first perfectly, and then to show it to the world? And
never ever.
but I'm saying this as if I wouldn't do this. I do that too so many times, and I saw that when I went over my comfort zone, and I said, okay, even if I don't do things the way I would like to do them, let's try it and let's see what happens. And usually, greater things start to show up. So
Yeah, you should be Nike. Just do it.
exactly.
Just do it. Oh my
And you
God.
see what happened. Maybe next time you won't
Oh,
do it, but at least you won't have a question mark in your life. What would have happened if you would try to do that, or what would have happened if you wouldn't?
yeah, yeah. And have you ever, because I have a lady now at the class, and she's already repeating the expense class, and she said that she was so much unmotivated in her life, or she somehow cannot find what can work for her, or what would cause joy in her life. And she that's why she also came, because she can change something. But yeah, what happens when you are unmotivated? Because I think all of us is sometimes. So we are human, so not perfect. Whoa. How do you start inspire yourself?
Oh, that's a great question. I think that the first step would be to acknowledge that in this life, uh, in the everyday life, it's how put it into words. It's more valuable to be sad when you are not inspired, when you are not doing things, when you are not doing things that you like, or you stop doing them, you start to get unmotivated. When you start to do things that you like, when you start to pay a little bit attention to your life, motivation will rise again. When you will start to pay attention that you don't have to be like everybody else, when you acknowledge that you are different than everybody else, you will start to live your life in your own way, and this motivation thing won't stop. Maybe you will take a break. You might ask, it's now the time to take a break or not, and if it is, then just rest. But if it's not, you might see that you maybe you function from somebody else's points of views. Maybe you function from values that are for you maybe are not that valuable, those values, let's say it like that. We
So
have
if
many.
I sorry, if I get you, then you say that if we are unmotivated or
Yes,
sad or something, it's not
yes,
our word or it's never
exactly.
ours. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And if it
Okay.
and if it happens, you might just want to sit with that and to see what is that makes you so unhappy. And
Ah,
if you can see that, then you can choose something different. You can go in a different direction. Maybe you just perceive that the direction you are heading to, it's not quite for you.
not
It
your
might,
way.
yes, it might work for everyone you know, but not necessarily is working for you. So see what is the thing that works for you? What is the thing that inspires you? What is
Yeah.
what are the things that you like and brings joy and happiness in your life? Because you are the only one who is responsible of your own happiness and your own joyful life. We many times tend to say that, oh, it's somebody else's fault. But if you are honest with yourself, you might see that it's not the case.
Yeah, it's so funny. There is a short video of Will Smith, and I'm watching it since more years. And okay, maybe this year I haven't watched it yet, but sometimes I just go and watch it because he's talking about happiness, and he is so intense, and he's talking about how they realized with his wife that they should stop to try make each other happy. And he is like, with his style, Will Smith, you cannot make a person happy. That's it. I mean, you can make a person smile, la 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 la, but and it's an amazing video. I love it. Yeah, and we many times don't like it, but yeah, this happiness thing is also interesting because for me, what you said, that acknowledge that you are different. For me, I remember it was really hard to acknowledge that I can be happy without any reason. And it's really true. And it was for me really hard because for many people, yes, I need money, I have to be rich, I need this from this neediness. And when I first realized that, fuck, I don't care this, it's it's not easy to acknowledge that you are different. But then when you acknowledge, you can use it for your advantage, and then you can be a contribution to others.
Yes, what if your greatest contribution to others is you choosing happiness for you, and by that you inspire the people from around you or the people you meet, and they will have this, let's call it option to choose happiness. Because you get caught up in your life. You start to forget about yourself. You start to worry about others. You get married. You start to have children or whatever things are happening in everybody's lives, and you start to forget that you are responsible of your own happiness. And what if by that you are an inspiration for everybody that surrounds you? What if a true smile invites at least other 10 people, even if they just see you on the street, that you don't speak with them, you don't know them? What if you only your smile inspires them to smile and to realize that, oh, life can be nice if I want to see that way? Because always you see things you want to see. What would it take to start to want to see the beautiful things in life, and not the not so beautiful, let's say it like that.
Yeah, and difficult things and problems and limitations and la la la. And I think there is so much kindness in the world around us, but we really many times we don't see them. So we just should open our eyes.
Yes, usually we are rushing to not in a direction, to a result, and we forget
Hmm.
that we can enjoy the road, the trip,
I
the
hate that cliche. Andrea, the way is important. Enjoy it. Yeah, but it's so true. So it's like we have many these kind of sentences, but then we always realize that fuck, it's true.
exactly. Exactly.
They
And
know something.
it may take years to get it, but
Yeah. And is there somebody who really inspires you nowadays? Because I think it's also changing all the time, and we can have many people around us, but what is inspiring for you in somebody else?
well, I'll be honest with you that everybody that surrounds me or I'm in contact with inspires me in a
Mhm.
way. Um, there are people who inspire me the way they do their businesses, others the
Mhm.
way they how kind they are, others the way they deal with stuff in their life. So I always like to observe people and to see the good stuff they're doing, and
Mhm.
to see how can I achieve that, or how can I implement that in my own ways in my own life. So I couldn't say just a person. I am very lucky. I have to admit that I'm working with. I have beautiful friendships with people who I admire a lot and who are truly an inspiration for me. And what
Lucky
would it
guy.
take? Yes, so what would
To
it
have
take for
more.
all of you to have more of this in your lives, to have more people with whom you can have a nice talk, a conversation that inspires you for something greater for you, without having the result that the other persons who is inviting you, without pushing you that direction to you. Being in allowance, okay, you can choose whatever you want to choose as long as you're happy. And really mean it. Not like the parents. So as long as you are happy, I'm happy, but you have to go to that school.
Yeah.
You can choose what
Be a
school you
good
want.
boy.
Or a good girl.
Yeah. Yeah, but this happiness thing is also interesting. Maybe we should talk about happiness.
That just
That
crossed my
topic.
mind.
Yeah. Because I was always, I had to realize how much I was judging, for example, my dad. I think I'm the only one who is
of,
doing that.
of course
And
you
I was,
are.
why is it good for him? I didn't get. And it was more years, as I think maybe last year, finally, I could acknowledge that he is good with his life. And for him, this is happiness. And maybe for me, it doesn't work. But I see now that for him, it works and he's happy with it. And I realized that, wow, Andrea, you should not save him. He's totally okay. So what is happiness also? It's so different for everybody.
Yes, you see, we want to define these concepts because basically it's a concept. in ways that suits for us, and we are thinking, why doesn't other people choose like that? Because their definition of happiness is different than ours. Their definition of inspiration, invitation is different than ours. Then why don't you just be the way you are, and who are inspired are inspired, and who are not, they are not. And that's it. Make things simple. Don't try to figure it out in so many ways. I'm not doing that.
No, never.
But at
You
least when
know,
you start to do that, just to catch yourself, oh, okay, now I'm head tripping again. What else can I choose? What how can I simplify this thing? Why do I have to complicate it?
yeah, because we like to complicate. people, because we think that if we complicate, it's more valuable. It's
Yes, and I think it's easier to fit in everybody's
hmm
judgment. But there are so many people around us. How can you fit
yeah,
in everybody's judgment? There are going to be some that you cannot fit in, and so what if the
just some.
percentage is changed? Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, for me, I was wondering what is really inspiring nowadays when I have some people around me, and or there's some ladies who I'm listening to, or I'm reading their posts, or sometimes books, and when somebody really doesn't care, just she knows that it works for her, she knows she has to go, and she's just fucking not hesitating. And I know that sometimes I'm doing it also in many parts of my life, but there are still some parts of my life where I'm still head tripping, what you are saying, and it's harder. And when I see these people, or when they just say they are really there to say their opinion, and it's not from proving, but they are just saying what they feel, and it's true for them, and they don't care, just go. And many times they don't see also what will happen, what's the next step, but they are just so committed. And for me that's really inspiring, really.
So committed and so confident in themselves.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
as long as you are a perfectionist, you it is it has to be challenging to be confident in yourself, because you always know that there is something greater, something better available, and you are never pleased with you. But what if what you are doing, it's okay, and yes, there is more available, yes, there is better available, but you can choose it next time. You can choose it next time. And it's like walking up on a stairs. You choose more, you add to your life, you add to your life, and you make your life greater, you make your life in a way to be proud you of yourself, but not because you can prove something, just because the way you feel in your life, just because you can reach happiness without any reason and any justification. You are just like, oh, I feel so yummy today. And that's all. You don't have to have a reason for that. It's just a vibration. It's not big deal when you do realize it. And yes, of course, all of us will have moments when it's difficult for us to reach that level of happiness, or when we choose sadness over happiness. But be in allowance with that. Be your best friend. Basically, that's the idea. Be your best friend, and be very, 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 very honest with yourself. You anyway, you know all your secrets, so why wouldn't you be honest with yourself?
I like that. Yeah, and actually being a perfectionist is not kind. It's really abusive. So it's like I'm more and more letting go also, but it's also big judgment. So it
But
doesn't make sense.
yes, we are taught to be this way, but we can choose
Yeah.
something different. When you start in school, for example, you are looking for your mistakes, and you are looking to correct them, to make them right. But this rightness it's not necessarily a contribution. You have to be aware when it is a contribution and when it isn't. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that a wrong way is a contribution, but it might be. How many times did it happen in your life that you said, "Oh God, this is so wrong," and after a while you realize that maybe
Mm.
that was the greatest thing that happened in my life, even
It,
though in that moment I thought that it's the end of the world.
yeah, I think we have many kind of these moments since since we were children, no?
Yes. Or a better example is a breakup, for example, in the in the common example, how much you suffered when someone break up with you, and afterwards you met someone who was greater, and you were like, oh shit, what was in my mind?
Yeah, I remember once I was fired from a company, and it was when COVID started.
Okay.
And COVID, so you already had this shit that fuck, what will you do? And then your company, I was working there since 9 years, and they come and they just fired me. And I was, what the fuck? And first I went to drama, and then I called one of my friends, and he said, okay, do you have your champagne? And I was, what are you talking about? And then I stopped, and I realized that before that, 2 years earlier, already I was crying that I don't want to do that anymore, but I didn't dare to quit. I was waiting for the moment, and I was really grateful. Thank you, dear. Next time I won't wait.
You see, here are a few aspects I would like to highlight. The thing that you entered in a drama, as long as you don't judge it and you say, okay, I want to do drama now. I'm a drama queen in this 10 seconds, let's say. For how long do I want to do this? And you will get a number, 4 days, 3 days, half an hour, 3 hours, or something like that. And you can exit from that very easily when you do realize that you like that drama because it fits to the
Yeah.
situation, it fits to what you are
You
supposed to
should
do.
do this.
Yes.
Yeah. If you are
Exactly.
fired, you should be sad and not celebrate with the champagne.
Yes, and here comes a friend of you who changes your point of view and then says, "Okay, let's drink a champagne," and that changes everything in your world, and you start to see that this is the greatest contribution. Um,
Yeah, I realized after that okay, maybe it still brought me money, not so much, but it was after they fired me and I could come out from this drama, much bigger space opened for me, and I was so grateful because I realized that wow, now I have time and energy for what I really love, and wow, it was really a huge gift.
exactly, we have in Romanian a saying that a kick in your butt makes you to do a step forward. So.
I like that.
In your case you started to step more into in your power and potency, and you started to deal more with your own business.
Yeah,
You didn't contribute it anymore in someone else's business. You already were, let's say, it grown enough to do your stuff, only that you were afraid because it was out of your comfort zone. But once you get your kick in your butt, you you had to do it.
yeah,
And now I would ask you, do you earn more money? Are you more happier? Are you doing more in your life, what you like, what you love? I know that you travel a lot. I know that you have a lot of classes all over Europe. Yet not only Europe. Oh, I forget about Brazil. And maybe
yeah.
if you would stayed in that old job of yours, you couldn't travel that much. You couldn't do so many things. You couldn't contribute that much in so many people's lives, because basically the classes you are teaching are coaching therapies, let's name it like that, or you are contributing to their happiness, to their well-being.
I hope.
I know what you can do.
Oh,
What would
oh
it
my
take to
gosh.
start to see it for yourself, to be honest with yourself,
Yeah,
and to acknowledge that?
yeah. I changed topic. No, I just wanted to add that how many times we do something that physically brings us money, but actually, if we look at it from the energy, it's more about wasting our energy because and many times we hold on to things because we think that oh it's sure I have this money every month. We work together since years and la la la, and it's more sure, and I'm in safe and la la la. And we hold on to things, but because yeah, mostly we are afraid of new things, or we from this also from this being an entrepreneur means you have freedom. And yes, but there is the responsibility too, and you will never know when do you have income or not. So it's a totally different way. And but also for me, yeah, it was a really good example in my life that it was not joyful for me anymore, and it was really good to let go this. So how many times we hold on to things which are actually not a contribution, and not just
Anymore.
because of money. Also, we do it with relationships, with places, uh, maybe with flat houses, everything. So,
Yeah, so many times we are afraid to step out from our comfort zone because
mhm.
if we do that, the future is unknown. As long as we are in our comfort zone, but we don't realize that our comfort zone starts to get smaller, 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 and smaller with the time how passes. And if you start to step out from it, I just said that your future it's unknown, and usually unknown things scares people. But what
Yeah.
if an unknown thing might mean a new adventure, something that you cannot compute from your mind, something that can still surprise you? And what if those surprises are pleasant surprises? There might be unpleasant surprises among them, but and anyway you already know what is not working in your life. You try to figure it out, so for so many years, why not to try something different? What do you have
Yeah,
to
and
lose?
also how many times we are not afraid, we are actually excited, and our body is so excited and curious, this curiosity from children. But we learn that, oh, you should do the same things every day and don't change things because it's sure, la 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 la. And it's so boring, actually.
Yes, exactly. And you were mentioning that the energy of the enthusiasm, the excitement is just the same like the energy of fear. And so many times we misinterpret it as fear, or that's it's something bad. And actually our whole body is trying to contribute to our future, to ourselves. And it's like, yes, finally. And you stop yourself
We
because you
did
think,
it.
okay, this is fear, something bad is going to happen. Why did you set our minds for something bad? Why do we set ourselves in safety mode? Yes, sometimes it can be useful, but I think that many times if we follow our awareness, it you don't basically you don't have to defend against anything, because anything isn't here for harm you. It's here to contribute to you.
Yeah, it's an amazing sentence. And I would love to continue with you, but I have to go because we have the class. So I think for a start, it was amazing. Thank you, Salim. That's why I like to talk to you. You are really inspiring.
Thank you so much, Andrea, and thank you so much for this conversation. And I hope that we inspire people to choose different and to be in allowance with every choice they have or they've done, and to start to function from out of the polarity. What if nothing is right? What if nothing is wrong? What if only those matters count that are working for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And maybe I will bring you again if you are in.
I mean, I love this conversation as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.